Hello, welcome to You Haven't Blanked That. I'm Forrest.
And this is Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hey, Forrest.
So this week we watched a little movie called Paths of Glory, part of Stanley Kubrick month.
So during World War One, Commanding Officer General Bullard orders his subordinates, General Muraru, to attack the German trench position, offering the promotion as an incentive. Though the mission is foolhardily to the point of suicide, Moreau commands his own subordinates, Colonel Kirk Douglas, to plan the attack. When it ends in disaster, General Moreau demands the court-martial of the three random soldiers in order to save face.
So,
Wow.
I like this movie a lot, dude.
Wow.
Did you like it?
I liked it.
It's very proto-fucking Doctor Strangelove.
It is very
like,
much
he
so,
used so much from Doctor Strangelove in this, and it's very much like, it's the same vibe. Like, you can watch this and then Doctor Strangelove, and you can see... I'm surprised they don't ever say that Doctor Strangelove is a spiritual sequel to this.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Because, like, obviously this is an anti-war movie.
Yeah.
But, man, is it beautiful, though. Like, the shots are, like, almost hauntingly realistic. Do you know what I mean? Like, even, like, when there's, like, a walking, freestanding gonzo, like... frame shot where he's walking backwards in the
and that's the thing is like even
the trench.
He never changed his fucking
his style. Yeah, his styles are amazing.
He did. I mean, how many shots like that are there in fucking Clockwork Orange?
Oh yeah, and the thing too is like what's great is like when the first
those
time
POV shots.
But the shots where they're in the trenches and then you're like, oh okay, cool. Like what's gonna happen with this? And then they shoot that flare over the air and you see the dead bodies in the no man's zone and you're like. Holy fuck, dude! Like that's crazy. Yeah.
And do you think he was like? Do you think he actually made all those people lay down? And then do you think he was?
100%.
You think he was at? You think he was at that point?
Oh, 100%.
Because
if there's no way you could get like, because I obviously people must have like I didn't see like what it was hard to find actually stuff about like written like what now I go to Variety and I can read all about a movie where I can't go back and read like a.
Well, I don't know why this doesn't get dissected as much as Strangelove does.
Right, this one's phenomenal. A lot of people are turned off by black and white movies, so they don't want to watch them.
But Strangelove was black and white.
True, but yeah, I feel like this one's it's a better digestible.
Well,
everyone could watch this movie and like it because it's very
you know
easily
who watched
to digest.
it? Lisa watches it, and Lisa doesn't like this shit.
She doesn't like it.
She doesn't. No, she doesn't like any of that. Like she's like the artsy shit that I like. She's not into that.
Okay.
Not. She's like I didn't give.
Did she watch this?
She did watch this, and she ended up liking this. Like she was paying attention to it. Like she leaves her room when I'm watching a movie.
Yeah.
Because she won't give things a chance. I have to do that thing where I just leave a movie playing.
I
just did that with Baby Driver.
Okay.
I just started Baby Driver, and she watched that first scene. And she looks at me and she goes, "You're a dick." Like, it gets to the end of that scene where he drives out, like, they do the whole car chase at the beginning and everything. Because she was like, oh, I don't want to watch it. It looks like a Fast and Furious movie. And I'm like, no.
First off, those movies are great, but go ahead.
I'm like, no, it's not. It's smart.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's if you like all those other movies, you'll like this movie.
Yeah, it's super
I was thinking about it, though. It is on my... I don't think there's a bad Edgar Wright movie, but it is definitely on the lower end for me.
Okay.
As I've watched more.
Yeah.
Sean and Hot Fuzz are always my two favorites.
Yeah.
And I like...
Pub at the End of the World, that's at the bottom.
That's my least
favorite.
So, yeah. So yeah, and the end of the world one is at the bottom, and then Baby Driver, and then I would say Scott Pilgrim, and then Last Night in Soho, and then Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, because of the shows, the only reason why I watched
and
Last Night in Soho, and I thought that was fantastic.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but yeah, so
there's a lot of interesting things that happen. Like you pick up on that one. There's that one like sergeant that's kind of like that killed the two guys, and like remember he threw the bomb at him.
Yeah, and he was like,
then he didn't kill the one guy.
Yeah,
and that one guy gets chosen as out of the three that
because like he needs to get rid of the fucking evidence. Like, yeah, let's get rid of this fucker. Yeah, and the thing too, it's like, I mean, like there are countless stories. They were way easier to find like 10, 15 years ago than they are now, of like World War II like horror stories, like actual like people like took the stories and wrote them down like these little like vignettes or like, these posts online. Now they're impossible to find, but there'd be posts where like stuff like this would happen, where like people would like soldiers would rob each other because they were dirty, they were far from home, they were missing. Like,
yeah,
we see them as like this like great. The Great War, and these are like honorable men, but at the same time, they are children, and they are far from home, and they are desperate to like leave or get out of there, and like some of those stories are just kind of like, ugh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, so this is pretty great because like it doesn't shame like the soldiers, but it just literally shows you like they were up against just instant death.
Yeah.
Instant death. Because, like, even when the guy's, like, comes in and he's just like, what are you still down here? Let's go over. And, like, the bombs are going like crazy. The bullets are flying like crazy. He's like, this is nothing. Let's go. And he climbs up to the top of the chairs to start the raid. And then, like, the other soldiers come tumbling down because they're being all shot down. You're like, holy fuck. Like, it was really intense for what it was and very not cliche at all, which I really appreciate. That's what made me like this movie a lot. But obviously like they get no one wants to storm the thing. They tell the command like, okay, we'll kill your fucking soldiers then. Like, you know, like that's what we're gonna do.
Well, that's the thing, that one of those guys ends up being one of the guys that shoots him at that guy that threw the grenade.
Yeah,
ends up being that guy who has to shoot.
Which I love that too, because at the very they obviously they go through court and the guy's like, look, this is how we're gonna answer the questions. I'm gonna ask you straight out, like, you know, it's like just keep your head up, don't look ashamed, and just answer the questions short.
Yeah,
we'll go through this and you'll be fine. And then, but it was barely a trial. They were just like, you're guilty, we're done with this, and like there was no litigation at all on this. And so like, also funny part of the movie like was like the part where it was the end. The last night these soldiers were about to go for their execution because it was a firing squad.
Yeah.
And so they sent in the priest in there like, hey, he was like...
That whole with the priest was great.
And then, which is great because like they're doing these things, and then like there was that one soldier's like, there's a sign above the bar that says like, you know, forgive us of our sins or not having credit, you know, whatever. And it was like a good little joke, but the guy's just shaking and he's breaking down. And he's like, and he looks down at the table and he sees a roach on the table. And he goes, look at that roach. He goes, that roach, come in a few hours or come tomorrow. It'll be closer to my wife and kids than I will be. And then the guy just kind of looks at it and he goes, you know what, now you got the edge on him because he just smashes the bug. You're like, what are you fucking... But there's the guy, the soldier, one of the soldiers are condemned to die. The one with the glasses, the little nerdy 18-year-old kid. Do you know who he is?
Who's that?
You didn't recognize him?
No.
He's the guy in fucking Blade Runner. He's the guy that's he's one of like, he works at the Blade Runner office depot when like, do you know when Harrison Ford walks in there and he's got the glasses? Also, do you know who he is too? By the way, that's the only reason I know is he's also the bartender in The Shining. But I do like the scene of like the distance between the soldier and like the generals.
The one thing I like though is I think Kubrick is good, but I think he needs to be on a leash because this movie is fucking great. Like I like this movie a lot. It's probably one of my favorite Kubrick movies. But it's cut like very well. Like it's, you know what I mean. Like it's a tight movie.
Yeah,
like,
it's
very tight. It only has what it needs in there. It doesn't have all that extra bullshit in it.
Yeah.
That sometimes Eyes Wide Shut has.
Yeah. Because the movie is what, an hour and a half, like an hour and 26 minutes.
Yeah, it's an 80-minute movie.
Yeah. Dang. But there's so much into it.
So much that they put into it, and it's so good.
Every shot in this is beautiful too. Everything about it is beautiful. The trenches look real. Like the fields that what you see looks real. The only part that doesn't look real is when like he throws the grenades and you see the soldiers like, eh.
Yeah. But outside of that, like I kind of want to go back and watch your more early Kubrick. That's what this made me do.
Oh yeah.
Like it makes me want to go and watch like the first 4 or 5.
But like with this, like what I love too is like he says so much with like body language and positions with people that it's just fantastic. When the two generals in the beginning are saying like, "Hey, if you get me that hill, I'll give you this promotion." He's like, "Oh, okay, cool." But the guy's just moving around the room and just walking around each other, and the guy's like always like a step above him, and then just kind of moving around. You're just like, oh, okay, cool. And he's like, literally, the guy's like, because he knows it's impossible to get that hill because they haven't gotten it so far. But he's like, tell him, if you give me that hill, like, we'll get you this promotion. And like, you could see him just kind of just like working him over. And you're just like, but all that's not said. It's just all body. Yeah. And it's just like, it's amazing.
That's why.
Which I was like trying to jump ahead and try to figure out what the story way in advance. Because the head general guy has got a scar from his cheekbone down to his lower jaw. And so that is a specific scar that was known in World War I and World War II. But it was only known usually in the Austrian and German areas for having those scars. Do you know what that is?
No.
It's a fencing scar.
Okay.
So like that means that guy with that scar
at one point was
in a private military school, and then he every boy would have to learn fencing, and then so one of your great badge of honors would be to have a scar from fencing to show that you've seen battle. But when that scar was there, they would take horsehair and they would pat it into it to define the scar even deeper on your face, so you would know
the cut was there.
The cut was there. So it would just leave that gnarly looking scar on your face. But the people that would always have those scars and were like praised about having those scars were all SS officers. So when I saw him with it, I was like, oh, is this going to take a fucking turn? Because he had that scar. But it was like one of those where it's like, I don't know. But I was reading way too much into it.
Okay.
But yeah, but
that's what and that's why we have a whole fucking documentary about. Is this what The Shining means?
Yeah, but that scar itself, like, because there's I think Harvard or some Ivy League school got in trouble because the name of the award was named after some dude, and then like it's just some random dude, and like, oh, okay, fantastic, and there's been this ongoing award. Somebody just kind of was like, oh, who is that person? Like, who is this whatever? And they did research on the name and found out it was a Nazi that was the name of the award. So they were giving all these people those awards with like, they were based on this Nazi guy. And so the school got into huge trouble. But yeah, overall this movie was great. It took some turns I didn't expect. Because even on the last day, the day that they already sentenced the soldiers for the firing squad, because the trial fucking dude didn't go through, and you're like, ugh. They wake up the general's like, hey, FYI, like, or the captain is like, this is what's going on. Like, he knows, like, we found a way to like save the lives of blah 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 blah. This is fantastic. And then it cuts to the death march of the soldiers walking up to the firing squad, and that guy is just crying. And the like a minute before, the guy was telling him, was like, you're a man. It's like, this is how you want to be. Remember yourself. You're a soldier. Fucking. Stiff upper lip and keep walking. And the guy's just crying. And you're like, dude, this is rough. And then like, in my heart,
it's rough for a fucking 1950s film.
Yeah, and in my heart, it's like, okay, cool. Like, well, we already know like how it's gonna go. Like the upper
guy's gonna get him, and everything's gonna be okay.
And they get to the things, and they offer him the thing, and the he got sick. Remember, like he was done, and so they told him like, well, what are we gonna do? He goes, well, they're gonna tie him to his like little.
And he wakes up as they're fucking shooting him.
Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck? And they like offer him all this stuff, and then like, yeah, they end up shooting them. That blew my mind. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, there's no like last minute, let's save these people. No, which makes sense too, because as like an officer, to recall something that at last minute you look unprofessional and you look like you fucked up bad by even having them on trial, especially when you have the trial and you find out later on.
But the way you got to look at it is if you're looking at it as the arc and everything and like where everything's at.
Yeah.
You're trying to. It's Kirk Douglas clearly is the main character.
Yeah.
And it's him trying to save his soldiers.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And he couldn't save these. And that's your like the worst thing that can happen to you. Like these 3 soldiers are gonna die.
Yeah. Directly
because of you, not because you're leading them, but directly because of you at this point.
Yeah.
And then, they died, so that's the donor part. But you're able to get enough shit to fucking fuck up the upper officer that ordered their death.
Yeah, and I like how
that's kind of like your dark moment, like your dark moment, your dark moment, and then like, oh, this is what I can do at the end to make my resolution work.
Yeah, but like, man, I did not see that happen. I was like, fuck, dude, like that sucks. But that also shows that again, like Kubrick's hatred for like war and whatnot, like. You're going to make tough calls, and even though you know the situation is wrong and unjust, you have to just go with it for face value on everything else. And then, but everybody knew what really happened, and they just like nonchalant, because the very scene where like he throws them under the bus, that's like, because he's like, oh, like so and so, he's the one who ordered everybody to shoot his officers, and here's his thing. And he goes like, oh, fantastic, blah, blah, blah. And they're eating breakfast. Like, it's not, they just not murdered 3 innocent people.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, yeah. Dude.
This movie was criticized by active and retired personnel from the French army.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't shown in France until 1975, when anti-war attitudes were like a lot more accepted.
Wow.
It was withdrawn
from the French?
Yeah, from the French.
Fuck off. We're like, their national flag is a white flag.
The film was withdrawn from the Berlin Film Festival to avoid
relations
with France. No, again with France.
Jeez.
Well, they are. It wasn't shown in Germany until 2 years after its theatrical release in the United States. In Spain, Francisco Franco objected to the film, and they didn't see it till 1986.
Wow.
And that's 11 years after he died.
That's like 30 years after it came out. Holy shit.
The Swiss government banned any presentations of the film until 1970 because it was incontestably offensive to the French. And it was banned in all United States military establishments, both at home and overseas, because of them.
What a fucking balls fucking Kubrick had to be like, you know what? Here's a film that's gonna fucking piss off some people, but to have being banned for multiple countries for decades, insane. Yeah, it's a fantastic film. It's amazing.
This is, like I said, it made me want to go back and watch more Kubrick, because he does The Killing, which
this was his first big movie.
The Killing is more of his first big movie.
Okay.
But I think this is like the first one where they probably didn't have the leash just tight on him.
Yeah.
Because The Killing is supposed to be kind of just him doing what the studio wanted.
Because you take any movies in productions, let's say even from like the mid 40s to like the 60s, none of them have the style or the the natural organicness of like his compositions.
Yeah, his is very much. It's not as distinct as Kubrick's was in this.
Yeah.
Like if you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This is phenomenal. This blows everybody out of the competition when it comes to like style and just like look. Like it's phenomenal. The details in the background, great. I think this is him like getting really nitpicky about the backgrounds on stuff, because like you could have easily done a simple like fake wall for the things and got away with it, but like the fact that that trench was so realistic. Ooh, do you think they actually used an actual real trench? Or they probably hollowed it out? Or do you think they did fake walls on it?
They probably made a trench. You don't think...
Because the trenches are still there.
Like, they probably used the fucking trenches that were there. I don't know.
I think they probably did. Yeah, I wish I could find more information about the production of the movie, but like, it's so hard to find anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, fantastic film.
We ask a question each week.
Yeah, we do. Do you? Who's your?
The guy that was crying at the end, I think should be the Corey Feldman.
Oh, okay. I pictured him more the one who one of the guy with glasses, Blade Runner.
The Blade Runner doctor.
Yeah.
Dr. Blade Runner.
Dr. Blade Runner. But yeah, dude, like honestly, like I try to watch this. It's free on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I tried to watch it a couple times. So I was like, oh, I'll get to it in a second.
Your pops watch it with you? Because that seems like something he'd be into.
He would be into this, but like I put it on, and it was the Canelo fight, so he was not about it. And then also that was the day that we were dealing with a lot of family stuff. So, but yeah, dude, like this is surprisingly dark, but yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I give it, out of 3 stars, I give it 3. Hey, Forrest.
Hey, Jimmy.
So what have you been blinking?
We started Sherlock, the Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
I'm a couple episodes into it. Emily likes Sherlock Holmes. Like, she likes watching me play the game.
Okay.
She's like, I'm not into this. And I'm like, why? And she goes, the interesting about Sherlock Holmes is that he's Victorian England.
So the like, modern day.
She's like, I'm good. She's like, our show that we watch is Monk.
Okay.
And actually, we watched an episode and Willie Nelson was in it.
Oh, nice.
And he was like the murder suspect.
Oh, really? That's cool. I've seen a bunch of Monks, but I haven't seen the whole thing. You were telling me you're trying to get her into, oh crap, what's that show? It's the detective that's psychic.
Oh, Psych.
Psych, thank you.
We were talking about that one too.
I like that one. It's a fun show.
No, it's fun. Jesse was like, he's like, oh, I like Psych way more than I like Monk.
Yeah. Psych's more, I think it's more,
It's more goofy.
It's more goofy.
My grandma used to watch all those mystery shows on USA.
Yeah.
So I've seen them here and there.
Is USA still around?
Yes.
Okay, because they used to have like the best like shows.
They had.
And the movies.
Yeah, Pumps and Breaks are up all night.
How dare you? But yeah, because like that's where like I first like ran into watching like Gilbert Gottfried, just with those bikini movies. Like those are great. But yeah, no, that's cool.
I know Gilbert from, obviously from Disney shit,
yeah.
But I knew him more from Stern, because my pops listened to Stern. But like, we watched, like, my dad was a big Gilbert Gottfried fan growing up, even before he was on Stern.
Yeah.
So he was always watching Gilbert Gottfried stuff.
Because you're the one who, I think it was you who played the his real voice on the Howard Stern show for me for the first time, because I've never heard it before.
I listened to that episode live.
That's
like,
cool.
That's how much, but yeah.
Let's see, last night I was watching Total Recall for the first time in a long time, and I like it, but I don't think I like it as much as I used to.
Yeah, when you figure out there's better movies with better metaphors.
Yeah,
but
because like I always thought it was really good because you never knew whether he was awake or if it was the dream, the recall center, but like I feel like there were too on the nose with a lot of the clues now that you're like, oh, okay.
Well, it's also like, how many times did you see that movie growing up?
I used to see it a bunch.
Yeah, but then that's probably why I didn't like True Lies. But I never, there's something about the vibe of James Cameron movies I just don't, nah. I watched the Steve Martin documentaries on, the 2-part Steve Martin documentary on Apple.
Oh, okay.
Were you sure that thing you sent me of him talking about John Candy?
Oh, yeah.
That's from that.
Oh, my gosh. So how sad, like that one like got to me when he was talking about it. So I was like, oh, dude. Because you see him break for a second, and then like he's desperately trying to put the thing away, and like, oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. I'll read the Star Wars comics every once in a while. They make them that, like, they did one that was between Star Wars and Empire, and they just finished that one up, and now there's one that's between Empire and Jedi.
Oh, okay.
And so right now, I read one of those, and they're all pissed off at Lando, and they're like trying to get Lando. Like this, you kind of see what happens in between.
Yeah. Did you ever thought it was super weird in Star Wars where Lando is wearing Han's clothing? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. They do. I think they reference it. I think they reference it in the thing too.
I don't,
because it's right from when he gets. When they pull away after he gets his hand cut. He gets his hand cut off, and they fix his hand, and then you see him like move his hand. Yeah. They do that. Like he tests his hand, and then it pulls away. That's where it starts.
Okay. Oh, okay. So my thing,
and then so he's still having like Darth Vader call to him and stuff in the middle of all that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So my thing about that whole like him wearing that clothing, I don't see it as a big deal. Because technically, the Millennium Falcon is Han's apartment, and so if you're gonna need extra clothing,
so that's the way I see it. That was always your
So I never saw it as a weird thing.
But then why is he back in his normal shit after? Is it like okay? So I'm gonna throw this out there. Are you saying his cape and shit was in the wash, and he's like, well, I gotta borrow clothes. I might as well wear this fucking cool vest and pants.
Exactly, and sometimes it's not like you obviously you don't know like the social like etiquettes of wearing capes indoors. Well, you don't wear it in your home. You wear it in other people's homes.
If you really break it down,
look at Superman. He never wore a cape inside his house.
But if you ever like really break it down, like everybody's like, this is why I don't buy the whole Star Wars. Is like, well, it's fake shit. Well, yeah, it's fake shit because they don't have the same fucking words that we have, and they all use the same fucking words that we have.
Yeah.
They have some words that are different, but they don't have a fucking hell in the Star Wars universe. But Han Solo's then I'll see you in hell when he goes to fucking. So no, it's just like
hell's a planet.
We're gonna call out all this stupid shit, but we're gonna leave all the like obvious shit that's right in front of your face alone. Yeah. Like no, fuck you. It's fake. No shit, it's fake.
Yeah.
But, I read a comic called What's the Furthest Place from Here?
Ooh, what is it?
Kind of post-apocalyptic, like, kids, like, this one girl, like, runs off and these kids are going after him. But there's this other group of, like, nomads that are fucking, like, killing everybody. Like, it's fucking crazy.
The answer, Ohio?
No. The answer's not Ohio. You didn't get the reference to the name?
No.
What's the Furthest Place from Here?
What's the Furthest Place from Here?
The Jawbreaker song?
Oh.
And there's a bunch of, like, music references.
Oh, that's cool. Wait, what comic is this? Or who wrote it?
Fuck, I forgot who it was. But it's good.
There's a lot of music reference in it?
There's a few, there's a good number of music references.
That's cool. That's super cool.
It's fun, yeah.
Is it DC? Is it...
Image.
Image?
It's, yeah.
Dude, Image, still,
Image, dude, I read more Image than I read than anything
But
else.
I always thought they were the better of the comics.
I read more Image than I read than anything else. Yeah. Like, if anything I did...
Because it's still kind of DC adjacent at points, but...
Marvel, you mean?
Image?
Image was the Marvel.
Oh, it is Marvel, yeah, because that was where what's-his-face moved to. Yeah.
Liefeld and McFarlane, and yeah. It's... They don't do... I mean, they do... That's where, like, a lot of the stuff I read, a lot of those Ed Brubaker books come out on Image.
Okay.
Like, that's mostly Ed Brubaker stuff comes out on Image.
Yeah.
Like all those noir books I've been telling you to read that he writes.
Yeah.
Those are all Image books.
Oh, okay.
Like, there's fucking so many. But so fucking good. I read one called Minor Threats. That's a Dark Horse book, if you're wondering.
Okay.
It is written by Patton Oswalt.
Oh, really?
And it's about the, like, it's the, like, the D-grade villains.
Okay.
That are, like, going after, like, a Batman type character.
Okay, nice. So it's like a...
It would be like Polka Dot Man going after Batman.
That's cool.
Essentially. It's interesting. I think you would like it. If you got a thing now, right? Didn't you get a...
Oh, yeah, I have a tablet thing. But,
Go to the fucking library and... I caught up on Saga. Did you ever read Saga?
I started to, and then it was one of those where it was like... I was going through a breakup. And that's... They took a second fiddle to...
Where'd you stop? Because I got up through, like, 6.
I got to the beginning, like the middle... Maybe the first third of the third...
I'll let you borrow if you want to catch up.
Yeah.
I've got like 4 or 5. Because what happens is there's a used book sale every year, or every quarter in Fullerton that I go to, and I'll just buy the next one because someone's reading them and then selling them.
Yeah.
So I just go and buy the next one.
Oh, okay.
But except I bought 2 of 6 by accident.
That's dope.
But it was like $5. I didn't give a shit. Did you watch any of the Coachella live streams?
No, not really.
I do. I always do it so like the kids can see music.
Yeah.
Like so they can find their bands and stuff. Like I always put it on for them. Like last year, the Linda Lindas played, so we watched the Linda Lindas.
That's cool.
But this year it was Sublime and No Doubt were playing.
Oh, and that was with Brad's son.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's okay.
He's all right. I seen one of his shows somewhere else. Someone sent me like
the one in December.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, it was nice to see, but it wasn't.
It's nothing special.
Yeah.
I don't think. I think it's nice that he's doing it, and he's it's cool, but I think it's good for their brand, if you will.
Yeah.
But it's just okay. No Doubt. I figured it out. I don't hate the other 3 guys. In No Doubt. I don't like Gwen Stefani.
Really? I think I liked her. I thought she was so hot. But when she went solo, that's where I was like, okay.
But that was my.
I never hated her. I was just like, oh.
But that's my thing. Is like.
I was just hoping that she'd always go back to No Doubt, and like it just kind of.
But here's my thing.
And then what she did to poor fucking Gavin is ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's terrible.
But they make that whole Don't Speak video
about
how the video was essentially like, oh, it's Gwen and the other guys.
Yeah.
Is the video.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh no, we're making this video to show to you we'll never be Gwen and the other guys. And then what the fuck happened?
Yeah, exactly.
They become Gwen and the fucking other guys.
Yeah.
And I'm all like, nah. And then I just like the vibe. I don't get it. And then it's like, there's people who've been in this scene forever who stayed in the scene, like Mike Ness.
Yeah.
Mike Ness has stayed in the scene the whole time. His age is showing.
Yeah.
But he's been in the scene the whole time, and he's like touted the whole scene. No matter how much success he's had, he's always stayed in the scene.
Yeah.
The other 3 have somewhat been in the scene. Like the other 3 in No Doubt have somewhat been in the scene the whole time.
Yeah.
She's not.
Yeah.
And it shows.
Oh yeah, because you can't sing like those songs because they're ska-y, punky songs, and to what she was singing after that for a long time, it's not the same. And it's hard to go back from like, because the thing too, it's like you have to sing a certain way to sing those poppy songs that does not translate to punk at all. And so
yeah, and I mean, but that's the other thing is I think she still played those songs, but it's not No Doubt, and they play them poppier. I think.
Yeah.
They probably, I mean, if you're playing a pop set, you're gonna play those songs poppier, and probably only the pop.
But that Tragic Kingdom album is probably still one of my favorite albums.
Really?
I like it. If it comes on, or if it pops up on my Spotify, I'm like, I'll listen to the whole album.
Kind of into No Doubt right now, so I've been listening to a little bit more No Doubt than usual.
Yeah.
Because Emily was like really into watching. Like the first week she was into it, and the second week she was just okay. She likes a few songs.
I was so happy when it was just once a year, 1 weekend a year, and now it's what, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
It's 2 weekends a year. But they just do it like I think they split up because they were getting so many people and it was selling out all the time. Now it doesn't sell out nearly as much. And there's a rumor that everybody kept talking about how there was like the first week is like the druggy set. There's like the druggy week where all like the people who are like gonna go there to fucking trip balls go. And the week after is like the music lovers.
Okay.
Essentially. Blur played too, and apparently that was like their last show like ever.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay. That was interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So it's funny too, because like Coachella, I always think of just like I never think of like punk bands playing there or like.
I mean, the year I went, it was the Specials.
You went?
Yeah, like right before I got with Lisa, like literally like a month before I got with Lisa. I went with Perea.
Okay.
And it was the Specials.
Yeah.
It was Devo.
Nice.
I got to see John Waters speak. I got to meet
Devo. Oh, that's dope.
I got to see She and Him. I saw Public Image Limited. You were even commented on it.
That was okay. I didn't know that was Coachella.
That was Coachella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Public Image Limited, Vampire Weekend.
Yeah.
Echo and the Bunnymen.
I do remember you telling me that you went to go see all these bands. Because we went to Amoeba like shortly afterwards. Maybe like a month afterwards.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, Echo put on one of the best shows I've ever seen because I've never been big on Echo. Like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I don't hate them, but it's not like a band I would ever like go for.
Yeah.
I don't like if someone was like, "Hey, I've got Echo tickets. You want to go see Echo?" I'd like 100%. Like if anybody asks you to go see Echo and the Bunnymen,
yeah,
fucking go see Echo and the Bunnymen.
Yeah.
I saw Faith No More. I saw De La Soul. I saw what's the name of that fucking band? I seen Yola Tango. Muse. Devo I said already.
So is it like the Warped Tour where it's just a bunch of different stages, or is it just like
stage to stage, but it's like 3 days rather than just the one? It was fun. I mean, I enjoyed it. I got to see, like I said, I got to see the specials.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, Forrest.
Hey, Jimmy.
So next week we're going to continue with our directors of the month, and we're doing Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut next week.
Well, that's going to do it for the episode this week. If you have any questions or comments, you can hit us up at our Instagram
at YHBlankThat.
or you can email us at yhblankthat@gmail.com.
Bye.
Bye.